Surviving in Rimworld is difficult as a new player. Heck, even the most experienced players sometimes have trouble. That's the beauty of the game though. That's why so many people love it. Every colony, every experience someone has within this game creates a story. Those stories are then shared on the internet and shared with friends, and most importantly, remembered by you. In this video, I'm going to discuss the basic process of surviving in a temperate forest biome. I'm going to go over everything from the optimal temperate forest location on the globe, all the way to building a basic defendable base. Without further ado, let's get started. The best temperate forest location in Rimworld 1.0 will have an average temperature of roughly 50 to 70 degrees. You want to make sure your location also has some hills, mainly because the hills provide ore, stone chunks, and most importantly, protection. There is a newer feature in Rimworld 1.0, and it's the water mill, and it's very useful, so another recommendation I can give is choose a location along a river. This will provide your colony with easy to get electric power, and plus, the river can be used for more defensive purposes like slowing down the enemy as they slowly wade their way through the water trying to get to your base. Finally, the most important tip for a location in my opinion is make sure the location you choose has year-round growing. This will ensure that your colony can grow food year-round obviously, and not have to stock up food for the winter. It's just less to worry about, and especially it makes it easier for a beginning player. Every starting colonist needs to specialize in something. The most important skills to have when starting a colony are growing, medicine, cooking, intellectual, and shooting. It's also very important to ensure that none of your colonists possess the incapable of violence and dumb labor stat. If you have a colonist with these, please randomize them again, because they will only make things more difficult for you to survive. Before I get into the specifics, also note that if a colonist is a pyromaniac, please randomize them as well. A pyromaniac will go on burning sprees whenever they have a mental break, and this is very likely to result in massive fires that destroy entire colonies. Make sure each starting colonist specializes in something. You're going to want a colonist that is highly skilled in shooting, or at least have good passion for it. You need to have a colonist who is a very good cook, and if you can find one with lower skill but a lot of passion for it, then that's okay. Every colony needs a doctor, so make sure a colonist has some passion in doctoring as well. One of the most important skills above all others is growing, or in Rimworld 1.0, plants. Make sure your colony has a very good farmer with passion. You need a level of at least 8. This is because healroot requires a farmer with a skill of at least 8 or higher to plant, if you didn't know that. Healroot is also like the most basic medicine for most colonies, and it will save your colonists' lives many times over. So, the moment your colonists land on the map, pause the game. This is pretty much standard to do when starting a new game because it allows you to safely check the map and decide on a base location, and also check out ore locations, any ancient dangers in the area, and any caves with insectoids and, etc. Just pause the game, okay? Please pause the game. Okay, now, what you're going to want to do is a lot of setting up. I'm going to list off a bunch of things that need to be done, and it really doesn't matter the order you do them as long as you get them done and queued. Probably after the first few tips, you can unpause the game. You're going to want to chop down some trees for wood and build a temporary stockpile near a rundown building. You're going to want to fix up the rundown building so you can move into it for a temporary base. This will keep your colonists safe for a bit. Be sure to designate at least an 8x8 rice growing zone, preferably in fertile soil, and designate a 4x4 healroot growing zone for early medicine as well. Use the wildlife tab to quickly mark some smaller creatures like squirrels and hares for hunting. When you do this, be sure to build a butchering table and assign the butchering creature build as do forever on the butcher table. This will force any animal corpse that is unforbidden to get butchered for meat. Be sure to build a campfire either inside your rundown base or just outside of it, and assign the cook simple meal build to it. Do 15 meals, there should be about 5 meals per person. Okay, build either beds or bed spots for your colonists to sleep in. Designate a dumping stockpile a decent distance away from your base. The dumping stockpile will hold your stone chunks and corpses in the beginning. You want this far away from your base so your colonists don't get a mood debuff from seeing corpses. Finally, something I also forget to do all the time, be sure to build a few horseshoe pins for some early recreation. If you don't, your colonists will get very upset very quickly, and it's just rough. Don't forget it.
Stop on your right foot, don't forget it!
Now that you have all the beginning stuff set up and you've let the game run a bit to get there, you can finally start building a base. You're going to want to either start mining into a well-fortified hill location, or start building a base around your temporary base. Be sure to build small starting rooms for your colonists. I recommend 3x3 sized rooms. Build a wall around your base to keep people safe, but leave one end with a gap. This is simply to funnel enemies through, and later on you can create a kill hole. If you can, build a room that is 6x6. This will serve as your starting stockpile. Create a decently sized production room. Build a hospital and put a stockpile in the hospital specifically for medicine. This will allow easy access to medicine for your doctors, and it will likely save a few colonists from bleeding out in the long run. Be sure to deactivate storage for medicine in your other stockpiles as well. Hopefully you made it this far. I'm going to list off some very important base building tips for mid-game. These tips will hopefully make you have a longer lasting colony, but sometimes Rimworld has different plans for you and they end up dying. Okay, well, anyway. So for your wall, you're going to want to build a kill zone around that opening in your wall. If you do not know how to build a kill zone, just look at the one that's currently on the screen. It's basically a maze filled with traps. Your next task is to improve your colonists' bedrooms. Build an end table, a dresser, and a plant pot in them. If you built into a mountain, then task smoothing on all the walls and floors. If you build a base on like the regular surface, then task stone tiling for flooring. Try to avoid wooden flooring because it gets dirty very fast. You're going to want to build a large dining room as well that is nice and spacious. Make it something like 7x7 or 8x8. Build tables and chairs, and also make sure you put art up in there as well. The reason for this is because all colonists get a huge mood boost if there's a nice dining room. They also get mood boosts for a nice rec room. So create a nice rec room filled with games, and yeah, the next one up on this is probably the biggest one that your colony is going to need, and that's electricity. Go ahead and build a smaller room to store your batteries in, basically going to be your power room. Then you're going to want to build some wind turbines outside your base, and be sure to place any solar panels that you want to build. Make sure you place them like inside of the wind turbines like clear zone. This is because it keeps everything compact and your windmill is unaffected by the solar panels, and it also blocks the trees from blocking the windmills as well in the future. Now is also a good time to start growing different types of plants, so go ahead and grow strawberries and corn. This will give your colonists some food variety. You can also grow some cotton. This will be a very, very reliable source of cloth that can be used for many things, including, well, obviously clothes, which is ironically what we're just about to talk about. The final thing is setting up clothing production. Build an electric tailoring bench. Begin production of t-shirts and pants. This will hopefully completely stop tattered apparel debuff from ever appearing from your colonists. Anyway, that's it for this video. I left out research on purpose because it's a whole other place on its own, and it's completely up to you about how you go about your research, because it's basically based on how well your colony's doing in certain regards. And so you're going to want to research something that benefits your colony at the time, so I can't really help you out with that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe to see more. Follow me on Twitch, and also come join my Discord channel. Links are in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.